All right, so I'm going to tell you in advance that I think I'm going to be heavy tonight, right? When I say heavy, I don't mean like, yo, I'm so profound, but there's a lot on my mind related when I think about Libra. And not some of the usual stuff. I mean, I know I've talked about Libra and the Zodiac Mafia. For those who don't know, the Zodiac Mafia, just in miniature, represents 3 signs that people always underestimate at their peril. And so these are the signs to watch out for, that when you mess with them, you will get fucked up. They will follow through. I'm telling you that very clearly. So Libra is the Don of the Zodiac Mafia, right? So they're the head of it. Then the consigliere, in terms of the counselor related to that, is Pisces, right? And people always sleep on Pisces because it's like, oh, you're so malleable, and then next thing you know, like, I'm bleeding, it's like, what's that? Not literally, but that's kind of the other one. And then the other one is Capricorn. People don't often underestimate Capricorn, but Capricorn is still one that follows through. But this time, I'm not thinking so much about the fun aspects, even though that doesn't sound fun, of Libra. I'm thinking a lot more about a couple things. One, we just had a major transition in terms of a planet going into a new sign, and that's Jupiter. That's a hallmark for something significant because of a few things. The Zodiac Lounge actually was born with Jupiter in Libra. Oh, wow. So we just had a Jupiter return. So we transitioned out of Libra into Scorpio, and one of the things I said when Jupiter went into Libra last year is that Jupiter in Libra often brings like a certain level of conservatism in America. That's what I literally said in September last year. Now, I didn't necessarily make the prediction that we would have the president that we have, right? But I was saying I'm not so sure about everyone saying like, oh, Hillary is just going to have a cakewalk in. I'm like, I'm not so sure about that because of what happens with Jupiter in Libra, and also this president had his Jupiter return, right? So it was kind of a boon for him. So I've been thinking about, well, what have Libras been going through this year? I mean, like, what has their year been like for them? Because there's been 2 signs that have been continually been in my prayers. And I'm not saying I don't pray for all the other signs, but when I write horoscopes week after week, there are 2 signs I'm like, yo, how are they really doing though? It's Leo, and I can get to that another time, and Libra. And I've been really concerned about Libra because when Jupiter's in Libra, and when Jupiter's in any sign, so Scorpios, we're going to go through this. How many Scorpios are in here? We're going to have you next week. So, okay, I'm raising my hand too. Next month, I should say. When Jupiter is in a sign, people get really hyped. They think like, yo, I'm going to get paid though. It's about to be gone. It's going to be like popping. It's like Jupiter's going to come in my first house, my second house. He's going to go in my third house. It's going to be all... And then, like, at the end of the year, it's like, ain't shit happened. You thought I was going to get paid? I had to pay the IRS. I had to pay my baby's mama. I had to pay. You had to pay out. So what is Jupiter in Libra really about, and what's that going to mean for Libras, like, as they think and move forward? Here's a couple things to kind of work with. One, the key thing to work with Jupiter is how you've grown and answered the call for growth and development. And that's not always so much about, external things. That's important, whether that's travel, school, reading, experiencing different things, how you decide to be a bigger person, right? All those things are important. But I think that the key thing, the more inner thing, is how you have faith in the things that are foundational to Libra. So in order to get foundational with Libra, we have to go back and say, like, well, what's Libra really about? I mean, you said it was a Zodiac Mafia, it's the Don, you said a lot of funny shit, but what does it really mean? Well, for that, you have to think about the planet. The planet that's in charge, we can say ruling Libra, is Venus. Venus is not what they told you in school, all right? Right? Your Sunday school, what my wife calls Sunday school astrology, that's not Venus. People always want to make Venus out into like, she's sweet, she's nice, she loves love. Mars is lust and sex, right? But Venus is love. She's more sublime. Until, like, I'm in touch with my inner asshole, so I ask questions. I'm like, so why did I call it venereal disease, though? Right? Because, says the Scorpion, does say it, the Scorpion. But there's a real reason behind that. I mean, like, we don't say that anymore. We say STDs. But Veneris, right, is the other name for Venus, which goes to the idea of venereal. So we have robbed Venus of something primal. We've robbed her of lust, of her ability to kind of have her darker nature, to be able to answer where she can kind of tap into what's visceral. Another thing to know about Libra, do you know the other name for Libra? For Venus, the other name for Venus, when she rises before the sun at dawn, you know her name? What's Morning Star. Morning Star, and what's the name for another name for Morning Star? Lucifer. Venus is Lucifer. So, I mean, that's in the Bible. You don't have to, I mean, that literally means the morning star, right? So, what does that mean? Wait, are you saying like Libras are the devil? I didn't say that. Don't going around like the astrologer. He said like y'all the devil. Libra. No, right? That's not what I'm saying, though. The idea of Lucifer as the morning star is where one is vaulted up, in the negative sense, vaulted up by ego, right? Just in terms of the myth. But the positive aspect of it is it's a Venus that is out to greet and meet and deal with the world. That also means energetically, she's a lot more forward, maybe even masculine. In other cultures, that Lucifer Venus was a herald toward war. 9/11 was a morning star Venus. Okay? So what I'm saying is that the other aspect of what Libra needs to incorporate as Jupiter is passing, or has now passed out of Libra into Scorpio, is now, let's get beyond nice. Let's be kind, but let's be real. Because nice is not the same as being kind, right? Nice is like, well, I have to keep up a certain facade. I can't stand your guts. No, I'm not saying that to you, right? I'm looking at it, it's like, I just met you, so that's why I can say it like that. I can't stand your guts, and I just met you, blah, blah, blah. But kind means that you're thinking about consideration. You're thinking about how one thing connects to another. Nice is when you're trying to hide something. So what I'm saying to you in very plain terms, Libra, is stop fucking hiding. Don't hide. Part of being a bigger person, part of stepping into your power, is recognizing that you have to own the truth. I've told you this before, so I'll say it again. How many signs do you have within you? The potential, the power of all the signs in you. How many do you have? 12, right? Every sign is the answer to the one previous. There's an answer. There's almost like a cosmic calling forth. So Libras need to kind of deal with fairness and equitability, all those different things, and kind of like consider and not necessarily be as clear about their feelings, is answered by the Scorpio, who says, I fucking feel that and that hurt and I don't like it. Right? So Scorpio is about owning the passion. So what Libra is destined to do now is to own their passions. Own that passion toward justice. I'm going to call out somebody. I don't think it's a Libra organization, but I'll look it up and it'll be funny if it is a Libra organization. For instance, I'm going to call out the New York Times. Why? The New York Times is trying to do that Jupiter and Libra thing of like, well, I want to consider both sides. By talking out of both sides of their mouth while paying lip service really only to one. That's a Libra thing. That has to stop. That's where you have to be focused and saying, no, fuck that. This is what I believe. And this is the way things should be. That's justice. So when we talk about justice and ways things should be, we talk about some very great Libras who decided to make their mark by attending to that sense of justice, like Mahatma Gandhi, right? So he was a Libra, to give you an example, right? So this is someone who becomes committed to a principle of how things should go forth, and that comes from passion. That comes from believing in something. So if you feel, particularly because you might have Libra in your chart by moon or sun or rising, if you feel particularly lost right now because Jupiter has left Libra and gone into Scorpio, it's time to get more into your feelings and let your heart open up more so you can make the decision that your mind has been mulling over. The idea of just using the mind as just for consideration to make a particular pathway is limited. I'm not saying one shouldn't do it. It's a good place to start, but it's not the way you finish. How you finish means that you connect the mind to the heart. And from the heart, then you have fire. And from fire, you have forward movement. And that's what we need to cultivate as Jupiter goes into Scorpio. It's using that idea of that passion and that energy in order to soar more, to go like an eagle, which is one of the representations of Scorpio, into higher realms, into thinking above and also understanding what's connected below. That's how the scales, so to speak, become balanced. Thank you.